Hello everyone and welcome to the Kiki London YouTube channel. My name is Amanda and in today's video I have a super exciting new launch to share with you all, as today launches the new Kiki London sculpting gel. Now I know that this is something that has been very highly requested. Every time that there is any kind of hint of a new Kiki London launch on social media, I always see comments about gel in pots. So here it is. Here is the new sculpting gel, which is a builder gel in a pot. We will be taking a look at the consistency further along in the video, doing a swatch of all 4 shades as well as a demo on the sculpting gel as well. But for now, let's take a quick look at the packaging. So as you can see, you've got all of the usual information that's on the back of the pots, including the directions and ingredients. I love that the directions are on the back of the pot, so if you ever need to refer to anything, it's there. As you can see, these pots come in 30 grams and it's got the shade on the front. So first of all, we had natural cover. And then secondly, we have milky white, then we have powder blush. So there is both a nude and a pink. And then of course there is crystal clear. So I first of all just really quickly wanted to show you guys a little look inside. So crystal clear is a little hard to show you because it does look black, but it is a super crystal gel. If you love the clarity of the crystal clear in Easy Build Up gel, then you are going to love this one even more. Next up we have milky white. Now, although this is called milky white, it is still quite a pigmented white. So it's a little bit softer than, say, a bright white. So it's going to make it brilliant for ombres, but it is bright enough to still work for a French tip as well. And this one you can kind of see a little bit more of that thicker consistency as well. Then we have the natural cover, which looks a little bit more pink on camera, but it is a little bit more of a pinky nude shade. It's got a little bit more of a nude tone to it than the next one does. And then speaking of the next one, we have a powder blush. Now I have to say this one is my favorite. This is a really nice rosy pink shade and I absolutely loved working with this one. Especially, they are all really lovely to work with because of the viscosity they have. Now Kiki London have also launched a new brush to go with these as well, and I love that it's a double-ended brush. So you've got a spatula on one end and then a medium size round gel brush on the other end, so it's perfect for application. So here I'm just going to show you guys the consistency. So I'm just going to give the gel a quick stir. It doesn't need a stir before you use it, by the way. I just wanted to show you guys what the consistency is like. So you can see it's a lot thicker than the current gel in bottles that we have, which is the Easy Build Up range. It's definitely a lot more thicker than that, so it's great for sculpting especially, or building more of a longer length nail. So the Easy Build Up range is more designed for overlays or short to medium extensions, where with the sculpting gel you are going to be able to do medium, long, extreme length extensions. Because it's that thicker consistency, it is going to be a lot more of a stronger gel product compared to the Easy Build Up gel. So it's a great addition to have, because I know a lot of you have been wanting to have a product like this. You can still use it for the same reasons that you would use the Easy Build Up gel. So if you want to do shorter extensions with it, you can. You don't have to do extreme length. And although it is a sculpting gel, you can also use this over tips as well. So if you aren't comfortable with sculpting and you usually do your extensions using nail tips, then you can definitely come in and use this there as well. Now further along in the video, I do have a demonstration on sculpting on one of my own nails, but I did want to come in and swatch all 4 shades for you guys so that you can take a closer look at the consistency of each shade and the pigmentation, etc. So here we have that beautiful natural cover. So this is more of a pinky peachy nude tone compared to powder blush, and it is really beautiful to work with. So as you can see, I'm just picking up a ball on my brush and working that onto the nail. Now because I'm only swatching here, I'm not building up any strength or structure. I'm just working on getting a even layer down on the entire nail, and I'll talk you through that process on the next one as we are nearly at the end of this one. What I'm going to do is just swatch all of the colors by applying them to a nail tip. Off camera I then did file and buff them and top coat them, so then I can then show you guys what the true color looks like once it has been top coated. But I really love of this nude. It's really soft and gentle, but it has got enough opacity to cover the natural nail. Now the sculpting gels do require a 60-second cure, so I'm curing this in the Deluxe Kiki London LED lamp for 60 seconds. So now let's move on to powder blush. So I'm going to start off by picking up a ball of the gel, and I'm just trying to run the brush around just to get off that excess stringy layer so that I'm keeping my application nice and clean. And then I'm going to use a circular motion to roll that product from my brush onto the nail. This is a little bit easier when you are working on yourself rather than a tip, because you have your base coat down, and once you've cured your base coat, it helps to grab on to the sculpting gel and pull it from the brush, a bit like how a slip layer works if you are familiar with working with the easy build up gel. Then once I've rolled it off of my brush, I'm using circular motions to maneuver that gel where I'm wanting it to go, and taking it from side to side and working it down the nail. Now, like I said, I'm not building up any strength or structure, I'm just working on getting a even coat of this. So this is similar to what you would do if you was doing a overlay on natural nails. So say for example, you've got a client who maybe has already got quite medium to long length nails and they just want a little bit more strength underneath their gel polish, then you can come in and certainly do an overlay with this. Now if your first ball of gel doesn't cover the entire nail, then you can come in and pick up another ball of gel. You want to connect that second ball of gel on to the first ball, and then again using those same round brush strokes, rolling techniques, and then just taking it from side to side until you can work it down until you've got to the tip of the nail. And then I am just coming in and gently pulling that gel down the side walls just to make sure I have covered the entire free edge of that tip as well. And I really love this shade. It is super pretty, in case I didn't already mention. So we're going to pop that one in to cure for 60 seconds, and then we're going to use Milky White. Now Milky White out of the four does have an ever so slightly thicker consistency to the other three, and this is quite common with white gel products due to the pigmentation in them. So when I picked up my medium to larger size ball of gel here, because it feels ever so slightly thicker than the other three shades, I do believe I only use the one ball of gel because I'm able to build up that same level of even thickness right in one ball rather than in two balls. Now depending on how you work with your gel, depending on the length of nails you're working on, you may need more or less gel. Of course, the longer length of nail that you're working on, the more gel that you're going to use, and the longer length nail that you are working on, you're going to have to make sure that you're building up more strength and structure to compensate for that length. And a lot of the time you're building up that strength and structure in the back third part of the nail. Now I'm sure these are going to be popping up on the Kiki London YouTube channel very often, as I've been so excited to finally be able to share them. I've done some really cute practice designs on my own nails with them, so it'd be great to finally be able to include them in a video. This color especially, like I said when I was showing you guys, it works beautifully in an ombre, so at some point we will be doing an ombre and a French using these as well. So here I'm just making sure we cover that tip of the nail, and I'm just pulling some of it back just to help with getting a nice even layer. However, if you do feel as though your application is a little bit uneven, similar to the easy build up gel, just hold the nail upside down for a few seconds and it will speed up how quickly it self levels. Now because these are a thicker consistency product, they don't self level as quickly. However, you are able to maneuver them around a lot easier because of the viscosity they have. So here we have the crystal clear, and it's really hard to swatch a clear in my opinion, because obviously you're working on a clear tip, but then you can see the glue underneath the tip that's holding it on to the little tip stand. But I wanted to still swatch this because it has absolutely amazing clarity. It is literally crystal clear. The name suits it perfectly. It's really easy to work with as well. This is probably the easiest out of all four of the shades when it comes to working with the consistency, because it's crystal clear, there's no pigmentation to it. So again, a lot of the time when you're working with even acrylic, clear is usually the easiest to work with over colors. So if you are new to sculpting, or you're wanting to try sculpting for the first time and you're not wanting to purchase all four shades, I would highly recommend reaching for crystal clear, you could sculpt and build your entire nail with this one and then come in over the top with your gel polish or your nail art. Now it is, speaking of nail art, it is amazing for encapsulating things like glitters because of the clarity. It just brings, you can see the raw glitter through this clear gel. I can't wait to get some glitter encapsulation videos up on the channel. But that is all 4 of the shades swatched. I then did give them a little file around the edges to neaten up the shape and buffed over the surface of them to make sure everything was nice and even. And then I have just come in and top coated using the no wipe top coat, just so we can take a look at all 4 of the shades before we move on to the sculpting demo. Now I really love all 4 of them, and I think they make a really fantastic starter kit because you've got 2 different core shades. You've got a white, which is going to be brilliant for your French and your ombres, and then you've got a crystal clear, which is great for either building your structure on your entire nails or as an encapsulation. So moving on to my nail, I have already done all the cuticle prep off camera, and then I'm coming in and just wiping with an alcohol wipe to dehydrate the nail plate before coming in with my primer. Now you can use any of the Kiki London base coats underneath the sculpting gel. Here I have the Hema free range one, as it was the one that I just had to hand, but even the coloured rubber base coats or the fibre base coats will work underneath the sculpting gel. So whichever base coat is your preference, just pop a thin coat of that over the entire nail and then cure that for 30 seconds. Then you're going to want to come in and apply your sculpting form. Some people like applying their sculpting forms before they apply their base coat. So if you prefer to apply your sculpting form first, of course you can. I'm working on myself, so sometimes I work a little bit different than what I would if I was working on somebody else. Same as when I'm doing a video, sometimes techniques will differ slightly just so it makes the video a little bit easier to do. But I'm removing the sculpting form from the backing sheet, but before I do that, you see I'm just rolling it, and that was to put a slight curve in it. Now of course there are lots of different techniques when it comes to applying your sculpting forms. You can pinch them in more to get a tighter C curve and things like that, but for today's video I'm just keeping it nice and simple. I've rolled them to put a gentle curve in it, so we're going to have a nice natural C curve to the nail, and then I've just fastened it to my nail, making sure that there's no gaps along that side walls and that it's fitting nice and snugly. Then we're going to pick up our ball of gel, and I'm going to start by sculpting my tip. But you don't want to just come in and do your tip, you want to make sure that that tip is connecting on to the natural nail. So I'm applying my ball of gel right just past that free edge actually, so it's connecting nicely to the natural nail, and then I'm taking it from side to side, making sure that we get right on those side walls and over them, because these, where your side walls meet the sculpting form, is quite a bit of a stress area. This is where, if you're going to get any breakages because the gel is too thin, that's where it's more than likely going to happen. So when I'm moving my gel from side to side, I'm really making sure that I'm tucking it down those side walls and making sure that there's no gap there between the natural nail and the sculpting form. And then, similar to when we were swatching, I'm using those circular motions to move the gel from side to side and to create the shape. And I've kind of gone for a short to medium pointed almond shape. So once I've got my shape in place, I'm going to pop that in to cure. And then we're going to come in and pick up our second ball of gel. And then with this ball of gel, I'm going to work on building up the natural nail bed area and come in and meeting the gel down to where we've built our sculpted tip. So again, I'm taking a medium-sized ball of gel, placing it down on the nail ever so slightly away from the cuticle area, and then I'm using those round circular motions with my brush to maneuver that gel from side to side, and at the same time pushing it up towards the cuticle area. Now doing it this way means that you've got more control over your product and you're not going to flood your cuticle area. If you come in and apply that ball of gel right down at the cuticle area, it can be a little bit harder to not hit the cuticle. So by applying it slightly away from the cuticle, you can point your thumb or finger downwards and then just nudge the gel up, so that way you've got less chance of hitting that cuticle area. Then once you've got your cuticle area nice and neat, I'm working on keeping a lot of this product in that back third to build up the apex area. So we're leaving a lot of that product just past the cuticle area. You're kind of in the center between the cuticle and the free edge, building up our strength and structure, and then I just gently painted the edge down towards the tip of the nail, because the tip of the nail you don't want to be thick. This is kind of like the thinnest part of the nail. Then I did pop that layer in to cure for 60 seconds, and now we're going to come in and just finish off building our strength and structure. So because I'm working on a medium length nail, I just want to make sure that I have got enough structure built up in that back third. So I'm coming in with another ball of gel and predominantly just applying this down at that apex area. So I'm thinning it out as we hit our side walls, and you'll see as well I kind of start painting it as we get down past that center area, just to blend it in. And then this way you're leaving a lot of that product where you want your strength and structure to be. And then we're going to pop that in to cure for a final 60 seconds, and then that now has built up. Similar to when you're working with your easy build up gel, you want to make sure that the strength and structure matches the length of nail that you are doing. Like I said, this is only a medium length nail. You might want to build up the thickness of this a little bit more if you was going on to a more longer length nail, which I'm sure we will cover in further videos on the channel. Now that we've fully cured it, you want to remove your sculpting form by pulling it down and away from your tip. And then once you've fully removed that, I'm going to wipe off the tacky inhibition layer that's left behind on the gel from curing before we come in and file. Now, it was really interesting filing this product because obviously it is a lot of a thicker consistency gel, so I was wondering how easy or hard it would be to file. Now, depending on what products you're familiar with working with, you might know that some products are a lot harder to file than others. For example, Builder Gel in a bottle is quite easy to file, wet acrylic is quite hard to file, and I have to say the sculpting gel was kind of somewhere in the middle. It filed absolutely beautifully, but you don't have to stress that you're going to over file it too much because it's not a soft gel as such. So what I like to do is, if your sculpted tip isn't nice and neat because maybe your application wasn't 100%, or sometimes just with sculpting it can be hard to get a super neat sculpted tip, so I like to come in with my file and fix up the shape of the nail. You can see here I was just pointing out that there's a nice natural curve there from our sculpting form, and then I'm just basically going to come in, shape the nail, and then I'm just coming over the surface of the nail, making sure that everything is nice and even, there's no lumps and bumps in the nail, and making sure that by filing around that cuticle area we've got a nice flush cuticle line, making sure that our side walls are nice and contoured and everything looks appealing to the eye as well as being structurally sound. And then once I have finished filing, I'm just going to come over with my buffer, buff the entire surface of the nail, starting with the 100 grit side of the file and then the 180. This is just going to remove any scratches that were left behind from your file. Then you're going to want to make sure that you clean off all of that dust before coming in and top coating. So same as with the swatches, I'm going to come in and use the no wipe top coat, and I'm just going to apply a thin coat of this to all of the nails. And as you can see, this color is absolutely beautiful, and it was super easy to sculpt with, especially if you haven't done sculpting very much like myself. It's been quite a while since I've used a gel product like this, so it's great that they are now available. So as I mentioned, these 4 shades have launched today, so they are up now on the Kiki London website, which is linked in the description box below. If you do have any questions on the new products, or if there's anything in particular you would like help with, please do pop them in the comments below and I will be happy to help. As always as well, if you have any video requests, do pop them in the comments below as well. This was obviously just a quick little demo and showing you guys the products, but there will be a lot more in-depth videos on the sculpting gel coming up as well. So I have just left a few pictures for you guys, but I'm sure there will be a lot more pictures up on the Kiki London Instagram page as well, so do check that out. If you did all enjoy today's video, please do give it a thumbs up, leave us a comment below, and hit that subscription button if you haven't already. And I just hope that you all love the new products as much as I do. Thank you all so much for watching. Lots of love. Take care. Bye bye.